Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm back on the Appalachian Trail. I just parked my truck at Route 850 just outside of Shermansdale, and I'm headed north to a pipeline. It's only about 2.5 or 3 miles, but there's a pretty good climb right towards the 2 mile mark to stay out last night, because I've been, starting yesterday, I've been testing out this lightweight Gossamer Gear Mariposa pack, and I've changed some things lately, my pack and my footwear. I'm wearing the Hoka Speed Goats now. Rowdy says good things about trail runners, so I thought I would try them out. And this is going to be my third trip with them, covering about I'll probably, by the end of this, I'll have worn them for about 50 miles of trail, and they're great so far. I like them a lot. You see the mountain that I grew up on from this spot, and there's a nice grass field there, so I'm gonna hang out there tonight. I have a bunch of stuff with me that I don't really need, just because of getting a feel for this pack. Like, I don't need my water filter and all my water gear. I don't need I brought a few fun things along. Right now my pack is at 21 pounds with food and water. I put a little extra food in there because just to give it some extra weight, but I'm pretty happy with that, and that's including a 0-degree sleeping bag and my full sleep system. So I'm gonna put my camera away now because I know it's coming here soon, and when I get to this hard section that I did yesterday, I'm gonna get the camera back out because it's a pretty good little section. So we'll get the camera back out when we get there. I'm about halfway up this little miserable hill that I mentioned earlier. It's pretty consistently just about going up like that. I don't know what the grade is, but with the GoPros it's really hard to get an idea because of how wide the lenses are, but it's pretty good climb. I know, because I did it yesterday. But the good news is that once I get to the top here, it's a very short distance to where I want to camp, and that's great. I do want to mention these outdoor research hoodies that I've been wearing. Sorry, I have the sniffles since I stopped. This is the Outdoor Research Echo hoodie. The moisture wicking and drying is excellent. My head, like right now, is cold because I sweat a lot, and when I put this hood up, it pulls the sweat off my head and keeps me a really comfortable temperature. And when I stop moving, I get a little chilled, obviously, because the shirt is pulling all the moisture off my body and it's wet, but it does a really good job at drying. I was soaked yesterday after this climb, and within about 20 minutes the shirt was dry, and it was roughly the same temperature, a few degrees warmer. But yeah, highly recommend the Echo hoodie by Outdoor Research. This is a fun trip because it's short and it's specifically focused on trying gear and making videos about gear, which is my favorite thing about hiking, aside from hiking itself, is the gear. So we're gonna get to the top of the hill here and get set up, and we'll take a look at this really pretty spot, and then we'll see what else we can get into this evening. Here's a look at the pack. It's about 21 pounds right now, but I have some extra goodies in here that I would not typically have. And I have 2 pretty almost full liters of water. I really like the way that I have this pack organized at the moment. It might change in the future, but for now, for my winter setup, I like it. So this is my Outdoor Research, I think it's a helium? Some lightweight name of hoodie, or puffy jacket. And I have it in a 1.5 liter Sea to Summit waterproof bag, because, you know, it's down. But yeah, we've got a fire pit here, some nice dry wood. There's no wind now, it's dead quiet. But here is the surprise. But this is the Durston X-Mid 1. It weighs, I believe, 1.8 pounds or 1 pound 12 ounces, something along those lines. I'll put a link to it in the full specs. It's a trekking pole tent. It is a double wall trekking pole tent. You got your little, you have the main cocoon in here with your bug net, bathtub floor, nice reinforced top there, waterproof zippers, which is awesome, magnet door thinger. Got my pad underneath, got my 0 degree bag. Yeah, I like it a lot so far. That I've watched some videos on it, and everybody says setting it up is almost too easy, and I would agree with that. This was the first time I set it up, so I did have to hook up the pieces. They were separate. They're detachable, so you can take the inner part out, and so I had to connect those. It comes with 4 titanium V stakes and 2 shepherd's hooks, which it's not windy, but I wanted to tie those out just to get a full idea of the setup and what goes into it. These are awesome because they have a clip down here. So most tents, when you zip them down and they're taut, you start zipping it down and it feels like it's going to tear, or like it could tear. But they have these really nice clips down here so that this holds the majority of the lateral tension on the zipper while it's closed, which is great. It has 2 vestibules. I don't have it staked out right now, but you can see it's huge, like gigantic. There's probably 2 feet right there, and there's an identical one on the other side. So if I was to stake those out, this thing is very, very spacious inside. It's double wall, so you're not going to get condensation on here, which is just, that's the part to me that I don't understand how people can tent camp. I don't know what is enjoyable about waking up all the time with condensation all over everything. But yeah. Also, this is my very first time pitching a trekking pole tent, so I don't think it's a terrible pitch. Could be a little better. It also has a spot here so that you could add a guy outline and pull that out some more. But yeah, that's a really quick look at the Durston X-Mid 1. This is a, from my understanding, there's a couple different versions of them. They've been updated through the years, so this is the 2023, the current version. Yeah, we're gonna spend the night here. We got a really nice, sun's going down over there. It's cloudy. Tomorrow's Easter, so this will be a really nice wake up spot. The Susquehanna River over there, just really pretty. My last surprise, which I haven't really had camping with me in quite a bit because I've been taking it pretty seriously, but this is more of a relaxing trip, so I brought a little surprise. So I'm gonna get a fire going here, and then I'll be back in a little bit. Got this really nice Tyvek waterproof bag from Gossamer Gear when I ordered my backpack. I got a Tyvek zip bag, the small one I believe. I also got a Tyvek stake bag with a reinforced bottom because I'm always worried about my stakes jabbing my stuff sacks and ripping them when I put them back in. But yeah, quick look at that. This is my fire kit. So here's the final little surprise, more of a surprise. Well, it's not a surprise, it's just something fun for me. We have Old Fashions. Thing weighs a couple ounces probably. I didn't weigh it. But look at this awesome little set here. It's got little instructions, and look at that. Got your bitters, it's got a spoon in there, you got sugar cubes. Pretty awesome. Channel obviously is Life Distilled, and that's because I used to always hike and backpack and camp with some sort of scotch, bourbon, whiskey, something like that, my name. But I wanted something special and that went along with my personality and stuff that I like. I got to thinking about it a little bit, and really when you think about it, when you're hiking and backpacking, if you've done any amount of it or even just a little bit, you realize how simple things are. You realize that you don't need a whole lot, just necessities. And bourbon and whiskey and scotch all come from the ground is where they start. You start with the tree, and that's what gives it its flavor. You start with all the raw natural ingredients. So when you're camping and backpacking, I feel like you're kind of at that bare minimum type of back to the essentials and back to the core root of things. You're traveling from one place to another. You're worrying about where you're going to sleep and what you're going to eat. You're dealing with all of those simple things, and I think that really fits, and that's kind of where the name came from. Like I said, I wish I could take full credit for it, but that was kind of come up with during a little conversation one day, and after some thought it really sticked, and that's when I changed the name. But I've never really explained the name, so yeah. I'm going to set the camera up and mix up one of these here with this awesome little kit so you can see what's in it. I was just making my drink and looked up behind me from the fire. So I had to run out the top of the mountain and come over here to the edge. I don't know how well this is picking it up, but the sunset is pretty awesome. Good morning. I don't have much battery left here, so I didn't even plug in my microphone, so sorry if the audio is not as good as it was. But just heading back to the truck right now. Last little stretch here. Parking lot is absolutely packed. It looks like people are parked in the field, but tent worked awesome. Really happy with it. I got to work on my sleeping pad. Maybe the sleeping pad is warm, but I don't know if I need to prop my pack under my head or what, but I can't sleep flat on my back. I slept fine once I fell asleep, but I was definitely fighting it. I also think I need to try a quilt rather than a sleeping bag so I can move around a little more, because I move a lot in my sleep. But other than that, the tent was awesome. It's Sunday, it's Easter morning right now, so I'm going to make the super long 5-minute drive back to my house. I'm quite fortunate that I live really close to a lot of spots on the Appalachian Trail, so I'm gonna go back and get ready to go see my family for Easter and do a big Easter egg hunt. So that'll be fun. But I'll have more on the tent at some point when I use it again and give a more detailed look at it. But yeah, it was a fun little trip. Only about a 5-mile loop, but that's all I really wanted, just to test some gear. So we'll see you on the next one.